And welcome to RAF Odiham in the CowanSim R66, the Robinson R66. A very good machine to develop our helicopter skills in. Now, I have chosen this field. I'm using a Miltech scenery here that comes with CH-47 Chinook, but I'm using this scenery for this reason over here. Those markings are going to be very useful for some practice that I've developed for myself, and which I hope that you might find useful. I am a keen simulator pilot. I've done some trial introduction flights in real life. I'm not a licensed helicopter pilot, but learning the helicopter skills in the simulator is an ongoing challenge, let's say. But I thought I might share this with you to see if these techniques might benefit your helicopter handling skills. I've got all assists turned off. I've turned off crash damage because that's just not a helpful thing when I think you're learning to develop your helicopter skills. You can safely turn that off so that you don't, end your flight prematurely and just, can bounce back off the ground if it comes to that and get yourself back on track. That's just fine. I have set the wind to be fairly benign here, but sensible. I've set us just a direct northerly, 5 knots of wind, gusting 6 knots with these gentle little gusts down here. This is going to be a nice way to practice, and as you develop your skills, just increase it by a knot or 2 each time and see how you go. So let us see what I do here at RAF Odiham. I first of all am going to lift the collective, and I'm going to add some left pedal for this anti-clockwise system that this American Robinson R66 helicopter has, and I'm facing into the wind now, that gentle wind, so it makes it very easy to come to a hover here after our lift-off, our pickup. So let us go over now to here. Now I've just done a small pedal turn and let the cyclic drift over there to the left, and I will correct that now with a bit of right cyclic, and we just treat this like a little runway. These boxes are super handy. Even if you're just using the default scenery, I think these boxes are still visible to you, but they just might not be in quite as high a resolution as what I have here. But the principle still works. So the principle is this. I'm going into the wind now, into this northerly. I don't quite understand what the letters on the boxes are. That isn't sort of north. I'm actually facing north now. So I will come over that box, try to counteract that lateral movement there, and just let... Oh, that was a little bit dramatic. Just let the machine settle down into the box, and let's see how I did. I think I can give that a 8.5 out of 10 there. Help with that nice headwind. So let us now lift and come to a hover. Rather than just speeding off, we'll lift. Bit of left pedal in there, not letting it drift backwards with that headwind, and just come to a hover above that box. There's that headwind again, just drifting me along. Just counteract that with the cyclic. I'm using an old force feedback 2 joystick, non-centering. I have the sensitivity set very low, like I think about -78, so I get lots of resolution in the middle of the stick's range. That's what's important here. That might be one of the things that's making it difficult for you as you develop your helicopter skills. Try reducing the sensitivity on your stick. That will help you to achieve this kind of hover that we've got going here. Okay, let's move to the next box. Bit more collective, pitching down with the nose, gentle left pedal turn. This time when we're landing, or when we're coming to a hover above the next box, we are going to be doing it with a wind coming from our 3 o'clock, our right. So there'll be a little bit more right cyclic in this time. I've come a bit to the right of the box, so I'll need to counteract that even more, nudge it in. Try to have those smooth movements. Look further out of the cockpit if you need to the boxes at the next circle there. We can kind of see how I'm lined up, and I've just knocked the ground a couple of times there, gently, but let me just get this right over here and let it settle here. Right, I was just pitched back a bit. Let's see how we've done. Not quite as straight as last time, but not in a bad position, right on the numbers there. Not too bad. Okay, again, so lifting, I will need some left anti-torque pedal. It's introduced there on the input viewer in the top right. I will anticipate a bit of wind from the right, so I'm just indicating on the input viewer now where I'm going to be putting the cyclic. And so we have that ready there, and we'll just whoop, a bit more, a bit less pedal there. Okay, good. It might be that we were just getting a slightly more effective tail rotor response there because of the wind coming in from the right. So I didn't need quite as much pedal as I anticipated. Alright, it's better to feel it really and to see how you go. Now this one will be slightly more challenging because I'm now doing it with a tailwind. So we're going to anticipate that. The pitch of the nose is going to be a bit higher this time. I'm looking ahead to the hangar or the shed there in the distance and just kind of having it all lined up in my brain so that even though I can't look down really in the flight sim because it just makes it too hard. I mean, maybe if you're using virtual reality it's going to be that much better, but I'm not. Oh, now we just skidded backwards there on the skids there, not ideal, but we ended up with something pretty good. Yes, so it's very hard. Like, I mean, wouldn't it be so great if I could fly the machine like this and sort of hang out here and sort of look at that, but it doesn't really work, so let us close that door. Love the interactive audio effects here for the Robinson R66. Sorry, the immersive audio, I should have said, effects for the R66. Wonderful sound pack. So, in with the left pedal once more. It gets a bit squirrely and with the wind behind us, so we're going to be aware of that. Drifted a little bit there to the left, interestingly, so let us come back here. Come to the hover. Not too bad, and then move forward. Try to keep a soft hand on the stick. It's very easy to go back to the death grip. I do it all the time. I have to remind myself, just relax the hand. Imagine the machine suspended from that rotor hub at the top of the mast. That's what we're suspended from. We're hanging from that. That's where the control inputs are felt or given action from. Right, so I'm not concentrating on this enough. Let us come back around here a bit. Ooh, that's not so great. Come to the hover and settle it down here. Maybe a tiny bit fast at the end, but not a bad result. Just poking out of the box there slightly. Okay, so the wind now is coming off to my left, coming from the left there. We might have slightly less tail rotor effectiveness this time. No, just fine, just fine, just fine, because it's coming in from, the wind's coming into that tail rotor there, or coming into that rotor with the left anti-torque already applied, so I might get a little bit less sort of headroom there, but we've only got 5 knots set, so it's not going to be too bad. Okay, and now we're coming back into the headwind again, so this should be nice and easy. The machine will want to weathercock in there naturally, and we will attempt to come to a hover over the number, drifting off to the right there a bit. Counteract with a bit of left cyclic. Don't let it settle yet. A little bit jumpy. And pilot-induced oscillation, I think, is happening there a little bit. And now we'll settle it down. It wasn't a great hover, that one, but we have got there in the end. I think I'm over to the left. Oh dear. Funny, isn't it? I was saying how easy that one was going to be, but there we go. That's why we practice. And we go round and round and round, and you can go and do 1, 2, 3, 4 in this little circle here, and you will see your skills improve. Here's something else you can do with this, and there's lots more ideas as well. Let's lift again and keep ourselves nice and steady here at the hover. Good. We can do something like this. We can try a turn about a point, which is we get the nose, don't come too far forward there, and we have got our wind now coming from the right. And we could attempt something like this. We could do a turn. I feel I'm a little bit far close into the circle there, so I'll just try and come out a bit. Yep. We could do a turn as I just edge the cyclic to the right. We could do a turn about that point, the point being that H sign there for the helipad. Oh, I'm just ballooning up there a bit. I'm going too fast, really, is what's happening here. So it'll be a bit easier when I come back into the headwind, which is maybe where I should have started, which is now coming about here. So let me start that again. Okay, a bit lower, that's better. Now we're in a nice sort of hover taxi height here. And we touch high still. Okay. Good. Now we'll just do it a bit more slowly. I was told by one helicopter instructor, try not to do too many inputs on the collective. It shouldn't be going up and down the whole time. It's hard to resist. Whoever said that flying helicopters is easy? It's not. That's why it's fun, right? Okay, now we've got the wind coming in from our right. And as I just continue this turnabout the point, being the H, it gets very hard when the wind's behind you. The machine gets a lot more squirrely. And it'll stabilize when we come around here. I just know it. And with me actually anticipating where the wind's coming from my left there. Okay, not a very even result there, but we haven't gone too far out. And then as we come, I'll just let it just drift a bit far downwind there as we come back into the wind. And you can invent your own exercises here. You could do a turnabout the nose right on that H. That's quite hard. But you can develop your skills. You can invent your own exercises. I think these ground markings will really help you. Doesn't have to be Odiham. There might be a local aerodrome that has exactly what you need. Or airport. Oh, I just let that get a bit too fast down there at the end, but I am right on, almost right on, the H there. So, RAF Odiham, and I don't know if I put this up earlier on, we're at the southern end of this aerodrome. That's where you'll find these interesting pads. If you've got the Miltech scenery, you'll find all the Chinooks and things all lined up over here. It's quite fun. You can invent your own things of following these taxiways as a hover taxi exercise. They're nice and curved, and you can experiment with the wind, turning the wind up and down. You don't need to always use the real-time wind and time. You can invent your own scenarios. I recommend starting off with about 5 knots, and from the north or whatever suits you, and just increase the difficulty over time. Go up to 6, go up to 7. Don't necessarily shoot it all the way up to 10 initially. You'll find that the handling with the tailwind starts to get quite challenging in the simulator with about 10 knots of wind. So just be easy on yourself, give yourself a chance, and set the wind at a point where it's going to be easy for you to achieve your initial goals. Turn those sensitivities down on your hardware and give yourself a bit of time to improve your skills and to see if you can be the best you can be. I'm sure I've got a long way to go, and what I guess I look forward to is taking a bit of a feel for what we've achieved in the simulator into my next trial introductory flight in the helicopter, whenever that is, and see if any of this applies in the real world, under professional instruction, of course. So there you go. I hope that's some useful information to you. Good luck, safe flying, and let us know how you go with the comments. Let us know how you go in the comments. Catch you next time. See ya.